So we want to look at disproportionate responses
Okay.
at the moment. So is there something that you don't actually feel the emotions of that pops into your mind that is a traumatic event that you don't actually tune into or feel or remember?
Well, I mean, I keep going back to yesterday.
Right.
Because I have no memory, nothing.
No memory of it?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Only that symbolic stuff.
Yep. So let's go with the symbolic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And how old do you imagine you were?
6 to 8.
Okay. So even though I've got this memory, that only comes up as symbolic stuff. Because maybe as a kid. From 6 to 8.
Yep.
I could only think in symbolics. Because I really didn't know what was happening. I accept myself. And whatever memory I have and don't have. I want to process it.
I do want to process it completely.
I accept myself. And my body. And I ask my 6 to 8-year-old self to help me process it. This memory that I don't really remember. Not in real terms.
Not in real actual terms.
Not in a real memory.
Not in a real memory, no.
But I have the symbolics. The symbolics of what happened.
Yes, I do. The symbolics of what happened.
And maybe I can tune into those symbolics. And imagine what a 6 or 8-year-old is feeling.
I'm getting some new information.
Mm-hmm.
Lying in bed,
Mm-hmm.
where I used to draw imaginary safety shields around me.
What did those imaginary safety shields look like?
Well, I would sort of draw a square in front of me and a square behind me, a square down there, and I would try to feel safe in there.
And did that square that covered you have a colour when you drew it?
No, not really.
Okay. So if you imagine the feeling of safety being in there, what did it feel like?
It wasn't particularly effective.
Okay. Yeah. So there's memories of when it wasn't effective.
And then there's other stuff coming up, which is I used to have these dreams that I would be taken out, I would fly out of the bedroom window and be taken by crows by strings down to the park.
Okay.
And I would sort of fly down to the park.
Okay.
But it wasn't pleasant.
Yeah. So even though I have these unpleasant dreams where I was flown out of the window, taken on strings,
Yep.
down to the park,
Taken by strings by the crows down to the park.
and it wasn't pleasant.
It really wasn't pleasant.
And I had that dream many times.
I had that dream many, many times, and everything was really totally still, just completely still. The crows glided and I glided, but that was the only movement.
The crows glided and I glided. That was the only movement. Everything was still. I wonder what it symbolises. This dream that wasn't pleasant,
That really wasn't pleasant.
where everything was still. I wonder what my mind made up to protect me. I wonder what it was protecting me from.
In the dream, I never quite got to the park, or I'd stop at the park.
I'd never quite get to the park. Or I'd stop at the park. I wonder what the park represents.
It was the park down in the bottom of my street.
I wonder what the park represents. I wonder what it represented to that 6-year-old.
It was a bit bleakish. I'd be told to go and play and go down to Sunday school, and you'd go via the park, and it was always a bit alone and empty.
That alone, empty place.
That alone, empty place.
Where I was sent to play.
Where I was sent to play.
That alone, empty place.
That alone, empty place.
That I was sent to play.
That I was sent to play. And no grown-ups ever came with me, like none of the family grown-ups came. So
that feeling of being alone.
That feeling of being alone.
No grown-ups there to help me.
No grown-ups there to help me.
Or play with me.
Or play with me.
I was all alone.
I was all alone.
That bleak park.
That bleak park.
Where I was sent to play all alone.
Where I was sent to play all alone.
No adults.
No adults. Sometimes I had a friend there. But she was a bit bossy.
Sometimes I had a bossy friend.
Sometimes I had a bossy friend.
I wonder what my mind is protecting me from.
I wonder what my mind is protecting me from.
Even though I've got all this imagery.
Even though I've got all this imagery.
This symbolism.
This symbolism. And under the stairs comes up as well. Don't know why.
Trusting my subconscious.
Trusting my subconscious.
Giving me the pictures I need.
Giving me the pictures I need.
The memories I need.
The memories I need.
In order to process whatever's there.
In order to process whatever is there.
The memory of under the staircase.
The memory of under the staircase and the trapdoor.
And the trapdoor. I wonder how it's related to the crows in the park.
I wonder how it's related to the crows in the park.
And the safety box I drew around my bed.
And the safety box I drew around my bed.
That was never very safe.
Never very safe.
I accept myself and everything my body and subconscious is giving me.
I accept myself and everything my body and subconscious is giving me. And the interesting thing was, I think I only ever drew the safety box from here. I think it left sort of like that half of me vulnerable.
Okay. Even though. So let's go back to here.
Yeah.
Even though I felt vulnerable.
Even though I felt vulnerable.
From my stomach down.
From my stomach down.
Because I could never protect myself there.
Because I could never protect myself there.
Is that right?
I think. I don't know.
I was never protected there.
I was never protected there.
I didn't draw the box.
I didn't draw the box there.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And the room under the stairs with the trapdoor.
The cellar.
The cellar.
With the trapdoor.
With the trapdoor. I accept myself and all this symbology my mind is giving me.
I accept myself and all this symbology my mind is giving me.
And I ask my body and my subconscious.
And I ask my body and my subconscious.
To process it, whatever's there.
To process it, whatever's there.
It's safe to do so.
It's safe to do so.
I have the dream with the crows.
I have the dream with the crows.
And the park.
And the park.
I have the cellar with the trapdoor.
I have the cellar with the trapdoor.
I have the, the box around my bed.
Invisible box around my bed.
That was supposed to keep me safe.
That was supposed to keep me safe.
From here up.
From here up.
But the bottom half of me was vulnerable.
But the bottom half of me must have been vulnerable.
I wonder what it is my subconscious and body is trying to tell me.
I wonder what it is my subconscious and body's trying to tell me.
I wonder if it's safe enough to go there to process it.
I wonder if it's safe enough to go there to process it. Okay, so something else is coming up. And I don't have a memory of this, but somehow there's a guy coming on my stomach.
Let's go back to here. Even though I have no memory of it.
Even though I have no memory of it.
But it's just coming up.
But it's just coming up.
And somebody's coming on my stomach.
And somebody's coming on my stomach. Little bloke.
And I don't know who it is.
I don't know who it is.
And I don't really have a memory of it.
I don't really have a memory of it, but I know where it was in the bedroom because we changed the configuration so often. And this time my bed was in the corner, partially under the window.
And my bed was in the corner, partially under the window.
And my bed was in the corner, partially under the window.
I want to imagine how old I am.
I'm getting 5.
The feeling that I might be 5.
The feeling that I might be 5.
And some blokes coming on my stomach.
And some blokes coming on my stomach.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And all these memories, wherever they're coming from.
And all these memories, wherever they're coming from.
I want to process and release them.
I really want to process and release them.
might be dissociated from it all.
I might be dissociated from it all.
But they're popping in.
But they're popping in.
These bits and pieces of memories.
These bits and pieces of memories. And there's an image of me sitting on top of the wardrobe looking down.
This image of me sitting on top of the wardrobe looking down. I wonder why I was sitting up there.
I wonder why I was sitting up there.
I wonder why I was sitting up there.
Oh, well, you know, it's not safe to be in your body, so you leave.
It's not safe to be in your body.
It's not safe to be in your body.
That 5-year-old wasn't safe to be in her body.
That 5-year-old wasn't safe to be in her body.
So she got out of her body and sat on top of the wardrobe.
So she got out of her body and sat on top of the wardrobe, but the wardrobe couldn't be where I'm seeing it.
All this confusion.
All this confusion.
It wasn't safe to be in my body.
It wasn't safe to be in my body.
All the things I'm seeing.
All the things I'm seeing.
It wasn't safe to be in my body.
It wasn't safe to be in my body.
I wonder who I need to tap on.
I wonder who I need to tap on.
And to help.
And to help.
In order to process and release this.
In order to process and release this.
The girl on top of the wardrobe or the girl in the bed?
Can't see the girl in the bed.
Okay, even though I can't see the girl in the bed.
Even though I can't see the girl in the bed.
I
I see her tummy.
I can see her tummy. Imagining the emotions.
Imagining the emotions.
And the feelings she had before she left her body.
And the feelings she had before she left her body.
And all the reasons she needed to leave her body.
And all the reasons she needed to leave her body. Can I just say I can't believe this?
Even though I can't believe this.
Even though I can't believe this. And whenever I've talked to therapists, they say, oh no, it couldn't have happened.
And whenever I've talked to therapists, they've said that could never have happened.
Never have happened.
But it's coming from somewhere.
Oh, okay. And a new piece of the puzzle. There was a door to the bedroom, and once when I had a hernia operation, and it was an inguinal hernia, so it was down there, I woke up and I was really disoriented, and I had this hallucination of shock of white hair, man's hand and man's black lace-up shoes coming through the door, just showing under the door in the strip of light. And just as we were tapping, I saw that, but different, at that bedroom door.
So even though therapist said I'm making this all up and it couldn't have happened.
The therapist has said I'm making this up and it couldn't have happened.
No wonder my consciousness doesn't want to believe it.
No wonder my consciousness doesn't want. I did believe it for a while, but they just kept telling me it didn't happen.
I believed it, but they didn't.
I believed it, but they didn't.
And then I believed them.
And then I believed them. Well, it just actually after finding EFT, it was like, oh fuck it, you know, like give it a rest because it's been so bothersome. And you've helped me clear so much that I just go, oh look, we'll just put it away.
But even though it's still there.
Even though it's still there.
And I've been dissociating from it anyhow.
And I have been dissociating from it anyhow.
But now memories are popping in.
Now memories are popping in.
And I can see the man with the white hair.
Actually, it's too dark to see his hair properly, but there is a hand around the door and there are feet blocking the light. But it's all in a sepia colour, whereas when I had that hallucination, when my son was about 2.5, that was a very different colour.
So even though I'm seeing it in different colours.
Even though I'm seeing it in different colours.
But I can see the shoes in the light under the door.
I can see the shoes blocking the light under the door.
And I can see the hand coming around the door.
I can see the hand coming around, and it's the left hand.
I can see that left hand coming around the door. I want to imagine what that little girl is feeling in her body.
I want to imagine what that little girl's feeling in her body.
I wonder what she's feeling in her body.
Terror.
That terror in her body. Where in her body?
Like the eel.
That terror in her body like the eel.
That terror in her body like the eel.
Yep. That terror in her body like the eel.
That terror in her body like the eel.
Tapping on her for all that terror.
Tapping on her for all that terror.
Stepping into that bedroom and letting her know.
Stepping into that bedroom and letting her know.
She's not alone and I'm here to help her.
She's not alone, I'm here to help her.
I'm her from the future.
I'm her from the future.
I'm here to help her with all that terror.
I'm here to help her with all that terror.
To process that terror.
To process that terror.
And let it all go.
And let it all go.
It doesn't belong trapped in her body.
It doesn't belong trapped in her body.
I'm here to help her.
I'm here to help her.
She's not alone.
She's not alone. And she just didn't move.
Mm-hmm.
She just lay really incredibly still.
Mm-hmm. All that stillness in her body.
All that stillness in her body.
She's frozen in terror.
She's frozen in terror.
Tapping on her to process it and release it.
Tapping on her to process it and release it.
Letting her know she's safe.
Letting her know she's safe.
I'm here with her.
I'm here with her.
Tapping on her for all that terror in her body.
Tapping on her for all that terror in her body.
She's laying so still.
She's laying so still.
So frightened.
So frightened.
Frightened in terror.
Frightened in terror. She daren't move.
She daren't move. She's frozen in terror.
She's frozen in terror and she's hoping he'll think she's asleep.
Mm-hmm. Hoping she'll think he's...
Hoping he'll think she's asleep. Yeah.
Hoping he'll think she's asleep.
Hoping he'll think she's asleep, which is why the crows come to take her out.
That's why the crows come to take her out.
And that's why the crows come to take her out.
Where it's so still.
Where it's so still. And that's why in later years she goes catatonic.
Mm-hmm.
During sex.
Mm-hmm. That's why. It set up the pattern.
It set up the pattern.
For being so still and catatonic.
Being so still and catatonic, and no wonder when I was catatonic I couldn't do anything because she'd been taken by the crows.
Mm-hmm. She was taken by the crows.
Yeah.
She wasn't there.
She wasn't there.
She'd been taken to the park.
She'd been taken to the park.
Where there was no one there.
Where there was no one there. It was done so still and so silently.
So still, so silently.
And they just took her out.
They just took her out. It wasn't safe to be in her body.
It wasn't safe to be in her body.
And maybe sometimes she sat up on the wardrobe as well.
Yes, it just where I was going. Yep. Mm-hmm. Sometimes she sat up on the wardrobe as well.
I want to let her know.
I want to let her know.
That I can help her process and release this.
That I can help her process and release this.
And she doesn't need to be taken by the crows.
And she doesn't need to be taken by the crows. She says, really?
Or sit up on the wardrobe.
Or sit up on the wardrobe. Really, she says?
Mm-hmm. Letting her know that I'll always be there with her. Keep tapping. Letting her look you in the eyes and letting her see that you will always be there for her. You're the adult that was never there for her. And you'll be there to protect her. And she can count on you and rely on you. That you will always be there. She doesn't need to draw safety boxes around her.
She's asking, why can't I stop him?
I can say that you can.
I can.
Lock that door.
Okay. Oh, sorry, he comes in like ether.
Mm-hmm. Ask her what would make her feel safe.
To not be there.
Mm-hmm. So take her where she needs to go to be safe. Maybe she can come and live with you.
Oh yeah, she likes that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Take her to your house so that she can...
She wants to be in my bedroom.
Yep. So that you've always got a watch over her.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And you can also lock the door. And she's there with you and she's never alone. How does that feel for her?
I'm sorry, I was just thinking, do you think I might be able to sleep after this?
Mm-hmm. Letting her know she'll be safe when she sleeps. That you're always there to protect her. And no one will get past you because you're her guardian.
But that means I've got to be awake all night.
No. As like in spirit,
Okay.
you're back in time with her.
Yes, but she's come into my bed.
Oh, she's in your bed now.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You can both sit soundly together with the door locked And what else can you do to protect the both of you?
I don't need the door locked at my place.
You're safe there.
Mm.
Letting her know she's safe. You're safe. You're both safe.
Yeah.
There's no crows. The windows are locked.
But I see that the crows were doing a good job.
Uh-huh.
It was frightening, but they were doing a good job.
But they're not needed now.
No. No.
It's safe for her to be in her body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Allowing her to fully connect with her body. Letting her know it's safe to be in her body now. What's coming up for you? Or her?
I don't know.
Is there a feeling of safety?
For some reason my son's coming up.
Asking my body and subconscious why my son's coming up.
I know why he's coming up.
Why?
Not the night he was conceived, but before he was conceived, I was raped.
Okay, even though I've got this memory of being raped.
I've got this memory of being raped, and I have worked on it.
And I wasn't safe that night.
I certainly was not safe that night.
I accept
and there was a rape before then.
I accept myself and these memories.
I accept myself and these memories.
And even though I've worked on them before,
I haven't worked on the first one.
I choose to be able to go there.
I choose to be able to go there.
Gently.
Gently.
To dissolve it once and for all.
To dissolve it once and for all.
Thanking my subconscious for bringing that up.
Thanking my subconscious for bringing it up.
Saying, well, if you're going to clear all of this, there's this one to go.
Saying that if you're going to clear all of this, there's this one to go.
If you really want to feel safe at night.
If you really want to feel safe at night.
And sleep well at night.
And sleep well at night.
There's just this one to go.
There's just this one to go. There is the other one, but that one was... I was really quite conscious for that one.
Okay, so what's coming up for the first one?
Okay, I think there's the dinginess of the room for the one that happened before my son was conceived. The one that I haven't worked on was where I was just like the girl, the 5-6-year-old, exactly like her, just pretending to be asleep.
Yep. So tuning into that feeling of pretending to be asleep.
Yep. Tuning into that feeling of pretending to be asleep.
But it didn't save me.
But it didn't save me.
That feeling in my body.
That feeling in my body.
It wasn't safe to be in my body.
It wasn't safe to be in my body.
So I had to be still and catatonic.
I had to be still and catatonic. I think I wasn't catatonic at that point.
Okay.
But after that, I would definitely...
Yeah, this set up the feeling.
It did set up the feeling.
That I had to be catatonic with sex.
That I had to be catatonic with sex. Funny thing, it's 3 weeks after I begin it. It's like, I'm okay for the first 3 weeks. And if the relationship lasts to 4, we're in trouble.
I wonder what the 4th week means.
I wonder what the 4th week means. There was one good shrink who said that probably I survived the first 3 weeks and then it was like a collapse.
Yep, the trauma capsule hit me.
Yeah, the trauma capsule hit me, and that was the only shrink who ever validated it.
That feeling that I was never validated.
Yeah, that feeling that I was a liar.
I was a liar, I imagined it.
I imagined it, I just had men problems.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
And all my frustration and anger at the shrinks.
And all my frustration. It's not even that, it's like I still doubt myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that feeling I doubt myself.
That feeling I doubt myself.
I doubt my own memories.
I doubt my own memories.
My own feelings.
My own feelings.
I've got this first rape to work on.
I've got this first rape to work on.
Where I was still in my body.
Where I was 19.
That 19-year-old memory.
That 19-year-old memory.
And I know where I need to go next.
And I know where I need to go next.
To clear that.
To clear that.
And I'm ready and willing to clear that.
And I'm ready and willing to clear that.
And right now I'm putting it in a box.
And right now I'm putting it in a box.
I'm putting it up on a shelf.
Putting it up on a shelf.
Where I know I can work on it.
Where I know I can work on it.
In the next session.
In the next session.
When we go and practice right now.
When we go and practice right now.
And I thank my body.
And I thank my body.
For giving me the opportunity.
For giving me the opportunity.
To clear the 5-year-old stuff.
To clear the 5-year-old stuff.
And lead me to this one.
And lead me to this one.
So that I've got where I need to go.
So I've got where I need to go.
And it's safely put in the box.
And it's safely put in the box.
And I'll deal with the box in the next session.
And I'll deal with the box in the next session.
And I'm grateful that I've cleared the 5-year-old stuff.
I'm grateful that I've cleared, have I?
And the 6 to 8-year-old stuff. She's safely
she's
in my bedroom.
Okay. The image of that 5-year-old bed keeps coming up.
Okay, and even though there's still the image of the 5-year-old bed.
And even though there's still the image of the 5-year-old bed.
I wonder how I can dissolve that completely.
I wonder how I can dissolve that completely.
I wonder how I can dissolve that.
I wonder how I can dissolve that. Fairy dust.
Throwing fairy dust on it all.
Throwing fairy dust on it all.
Dissolving it completely.
Dissolving it completely.
Replacing it with my bedroom.
Replacing it with my bed. I don't want my bedroom to go back in that house.
No. My bedroom in my house.
My bedroom in my house.
Where she's asleep in my bed.
Where she's asleep in my bed.
Safely tucked in.
Safely tucked in.
Feeling safe and protected.
Feeling safe and protected.
That other house has disappeared with fairy dust.
That other house, that other bedroom's disappeared. Disappeared with fairy dust.
Seeing her in that bed with me.
Seeing her in that bed with me.
In my bedroom.
In my bedroom.
Safely tucked in.
Safely tucked in.
Safe to sleep.
Safe to sleep.
Safely protected.
Safely protected.
We're safe in my house.
We're safe in my house.
She's safe in my house.
She's safe in my house.
So take a deep breath. So does that feel okay to have that in the box ready to work on in the next session?
Yeah.
The next one?
Yeah.
It's there ready to go.
Yeah.
Ready to be opened and worked on.
Yes.
Good. Excellent. You know exactly where you're going right now for practice.
Yeah.